If I was going to say anything about this episode of Monday Night Raw, it was just too incoherent. And the reason why, it's the new era and Shane O'Mac wasn't there. And that's how it lost the trail, so to speak. Especially since this is the road to Money in the Bank. There was just too many things missing about this Raw to even make it good to a point. Without further ado, let's start the review. So you had this year's Money in the Bank participants on ladders to start the show, and Dean Ambrose comes down, and you knew where it was going. You knew it was going to break down sooner or later, and everyone was trying to plead their case on why they were going to win the Money in the Bank ladder match. Predictable as hell, and it was somewhat entertaining, and it was somewhat a drop-off. There wasn't really anything great that happened in this segment. It just wasn't. Except Dean Ambrose was like, look, let's just get to the fighting, and everybody else felt the same way. Everybody, look, as far as the crowd, because we're like, all right, we know where this is going, just get on with the fucking fighting. So they do that, and Teddy Long comes out, and I'm like, oh God, please don't make a 6-man tag match. Yeah, he was there, he wasn't invited, he was looking for Shane, and Shane wasn't there. Stephanie comes out and basically tells him to get the step in, and so on and so forth, and Steph makes the matches of the night. And it's like, okay, it was good seeing Teddy Long, but he was so incoherent. I'm sorry, he just was. He was he's trying to put himself as a front runner for the general manager of SmackDown because of the brand split, and SmackDown going live on Tuesday. So I understand why he was there, but he was just totally incoherent for being there. He just was. No, okay. So you have Cesaro versus Chris Jericho, which Cesaro wins. Good to try to hype him up, because he absolutely needs it. He needs the wins. He just does, okay? So, yeah, Jericho ends up tapping out to the sharpshooter. Interesting. And, yeah, Cesaro wins. Okay, good. Okay. We knew this was coming as far as the hype for the Money in the Bank match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, but this hype, this segment, the Seth Rollins hype, took way too long to get done. It just did. They didn't have to go piece by piece on everything. They could have did some of it this week. They could have did some of it next week. Next week, I think, it's the going home episode of Raw before Money in the Bank, so they could have saved it for that. But they had it here, they had the hype here, and it went on way too long, in my opinion. So, you had Rusev versus Jack Swagger, and then Titus was on color commentary. Rusev wins by countout. At least they didn't mess up Swagger here. But still, I'm sorry. I see no interest in in Rusev versus Titus O'Neil. I see no interest in it. Especially as it's going to be for the United States Championship. I just don't see, no. Put the primetime players back together and have them do tag team stuff. Quit with that Darren Young, make him great again shit. And Titus, is this Titus's punishment? For first it's the 90-day suspension, then it's coming back to this. No, I doubt they're going to give him the United States Championship. Yeah, so Rusev beats Jack Swagger by count out and throws Swagger into Titus O'Neil, and they both do things to him. Rusev retreats, and we the people, okay, fine. Jack Swagger is nowhere. He's not going to go anywhere if they make a triple threat, fine, but I don't see that happening. I could eat my words, though. It's not like I haven't been wrong before. Cena comes out and talks about AJ Styles. Now, look. Yes, this is a hyped-up situation between Cena and Styles. But they fucked up on a lot when it has to do with this. First of all, if they were going to turn AJ Styles heel, they should have did it at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view when he beat Cena, thanks to the help of Gallows and Anderson. But they didn't do it like that. If they were going to turn AJ Styles heel, they should have had him totally beat down Cena with chairs or with steps or anything like that. Something that had a lot of impact, but they didn't do that. Now it's basically the club versus John Cena at this point. And yes, they talk about the history of Cena. They talk about the history of AJ Styles. Once again, they talk about the what-if situation, and now it's happening, and AJ Styles comes out and pleads his case. And this is why I have the club here, because, you know, if he gets beat by Cena, get the shovel. Big mistake talking about that. The main thing about it is this makes it seem like that AJ Styles absolutely needs the club to go against John Cena, and he fucking doesn't. And this is my point. If they were going to do this heel turn, they should have waited to do it. They should have waited during the match or at the end of their match and have him pin Cena that way. Don't have these motherfuckers as a backup plan as far as already being there to help AJ Styles beat John Cena. Because we're not going to get a great match out of that. We're just going to see some interfering throughout the fucking match. And I don't want to see that. I want to see a one-on-one matchup. Go at it. Yes, there could be cheating at the end, but don't have help throughout the whole fucking match. Please don't do that to AJ Styles. Because he needs help to have a wrestling match with John Cena? No, that wouldn't make any sense at all to me. Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains, which they kind of went the route of them trying to injure Enzo again. Okay, when Enzo and Cass came out too long, their promo was good, but it was way too long. It took everybody out of their upcoming match. Yes, they tried to redo that fucking slide and rope and bounce shit, and Cass goes crazy. Still didn't get the crowd into it because he didn't do a lot. He didn't do enough to solidify that he's an actual big threat. He didn't do enough moves. He didn't do enough beatdown. He didn't do anything groundbreaking to solidify him as that. He just didn't. So the crowd wasn't behind it, and I guarantee you that most people at home wasn't behind it. It was just so mediocre, and it really didn't do anything. It just didn't. So after that, Del Rio versus Sami Zayn. Del Rio wins. Pretty good match. And okay, the direction that they're trying to go with that, I don't know. I just don't see Sami Zayn winning the Money in the Bank ladder match, but I don't see Del Rio winning it either. This is just a filler thing for Monday Night Raw at that moment. So that's just the way that goes. So you have Roman Reigns hype. I don't really have to go into that. I just don't. We just don't like to hear that motherfucker speak. We just, again, they could have saved this, and they decided to, and it took too much fucking time. We know the story. We know the history, and it wasn't that fucking long ago. We know he has the title, and we know that Seth Rollins didn't lose it, and he's coming for it. We already know that. Don't fucking make a big deal out of this when we already know the fucking way. We already know the path. We already know the situation. They're trying to overplay it. And that, it just took too much time. You know, for this show to have so much time, 3 hours, and you only get 4 to 5, maybe 6 matches in a night, with so many segments and segments and segments, fuck that, alright? Get rid of the fucking interviews and the segments. Have some more fucking action. And this is, no. So, you had Ambrose versus Kevin Owens, and Ambrose actually wins. Pretty good match, pretty good hype. Ambrose tries to climb the ladder after the match and gets pushed off by Kevin Owens. Good touch. I still think that Owens is the top pick to win the Money in the Bank ladder match. Maybe Dean Ambrose is a close second, because maybe they'll give the briefcase to Ambrose, and then you have the Shield all in the ring at the same time, as far as Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, where Ambrose does come on top. Maybe that can happen later, but my pick is Kevin Owens for the Money in the Bank contract for now. Charlotte. Okay, look. She comes out and tries to explain herself and the things needed to be said. Okay, that build-up has been happening for a while, but she basically replaced Ric Flair for Someone else, Dana Brooke. Okay, yeah. That segment, again, it went on way too long with Natty and Sasha coming out. No, not Sasha. Becky. My bad. We haven't seen Sasha in a while because Sasha's injured. But I'm just like, oh. Again, if you wanted to make this about the women's championship, don't turn it into a fucking tag team thing. And that's what it looks like. It looks like a 2-on-2 thing, which really doesn't make any sense to me. So you have Tyler Breeze versus R-Truth, and things break down with Fandango and Goldust, and Teddy Long tries to come out and tries to make a tag team match when he gets kicked out of the building again. Okay, look. That was supposed to be some type of comedy angle, or maybe he was, yeah, but it still didn't fucking work. No tag team match was set, and that rivalry is just filler. It's just filler, and no one really fucking cares about the golden truth. No one really cares about fucking Breeze Dango. We don't fucking care. So they're not going to be a great force in the tag team division unless you book either one of them correctly, which I don't see happening. So fuck that, and then just no, okay? Just no. Okay. Muhammad Ali tributes were going on all night during Monday Night Raw. Is there going to be a Hall of Fame presentation next year? Could be, because Muhammad Ali was involved with wrestling. He was. A lot, actually. More than a lot of people would know. And to have that going on all night long and then a big tribute right before the end of the show, nice touch. I do hope that Muhammad Ali does get a Hall of Fame introduction soon. Next year would be the right time, but I still think it should have been done years ago because of the parts that he played in wrestling and so on and so forth. He was part of WrestleMania 1 as a referee, for Christ's sake. The Club versus the New Day. All right. You see, there was a lot of people that was trying to say that they should have had that at a pay-per-view instead of AJ Styles being fed to Cena. And that wasn't going to happen because that would have been like, okay, the tag team championships would not have been on the line and we already knew who was going to win, just like they did on Raw. The Club won. Okay, fine. And then it was announced, Teddy Long's idea, but it was announced that a fatal four-way for Money in the Bank, tag team championships. You had Anderson and Luke Gallows against Enzo and Cass, against the Vaudevillains, against the New Day in a fatal four-way. And I think that's the only way to take the championships off the New Day and give it to Anderson and Gallows. But at the same time, yeah, the fatal four-way thing, it's going to be a big clusterfuck. It just is. But that's I think that's the only way that they can take it off the New Day, if that even happens. Because again, you have one more participant of the New Day that's going to be out there. Okay. Then after the match, the Club tries to beat down New Day. Cena comes out, and then, they get the other hand, and I'm like, all right. It's just, Jesus. Again, this Raw was incoherent, okay? It didn't have anything to hype up anything. It just didn't. Shane McMahon wasn't there, so it was like, we had to deal with Stephanie all fucking night, making decisions, segment after segment after segment. There was no real big hype. There's only a few matches for Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and all the titles are not even up for grabs yet. Maybe that will change, but yeah, this Raw was such, no. Anyway, questions, comments, I would like to know what you guys think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I missed something with this Raw. Maybe there was a lot more to it, but I would like to hear your thoughts on this Monday Night Raw. So, yeah. But that's just my opinion as far as it being incoherent. So, yeah, drop kicks, body slams, throwing motherfuckers over the top rope, both feet hitting the floor. Yes, I'm a wrestling fan. This is the theme, and I'll see you later. Credits.